My name is Maya. I found a secret in the hospital, and I felt betrayed. I was small and cold. The ward smelled like medicine and soap. I held my teddy in my hands. A nurse smiled at me, but I did not trust her smile. I wanted the truth. I wanted to know why my father was in the ICU. The doctor said one thing, but I saw a different note in his desk. I had a choice. I could stay quiet, or I could ask and learn the real diagnosis. What would I do next? The secret would change my world. My name is Maya. The ambulance came at night. My mother held my hand. She looked tired. She said, "Stay brave, Maya." I watched the stretcher go inside. My father was on it. He was silent. He had a bandage and a pale face. The nurse said we must wait in the emergency room. A doctor came and asked simple questions. He spoke fast. He said a word I did not know. He said diagnosis. My mother asked, "Is he okay?" The doctor said, "We will do tests." They moved my father to ICU. I did not understand the machines. A beep was loud. I touched the warm blanket. My head felt heavy. I asked the nurse, "What is recovery like?" She smiled and said, "It will take time." I heard a sound like a small alarm. The doctor walked away. I saw a paper on a small table. The paper said a different name than my father's. I did not know why. I asked my mother about the paper. She did not answer. Later, a surgeon left a small room. He looked tired. He held a file and a phone. He whispered, "We must do surgery soon." My heart jumped. I thought of the word surgery. It scared me. My mother cried in the chair. I hugged my teddy and stayed awake. I watched the nurse prepare a syringe. The nurse gave a small medicine to my father. The prescription was for sleep. I wanted to read more notes. I tried to ask the nurse, but she was busy. She said, "No time now." The hallway felt long. My feet made soft sounds. I saw an ambulance worker by the door. He held a report. He asked if we were family. I nodded. He said, "We did our best." I asked, "Did you see anything wrong?" He looked at me and said, "Sometimes doctors hide things for a reason." That sentence made me think. Why would a doctor hide things? I decided to find out more tomorrow. I could not sleep. The night passed slowly and my fear grew. My name is Maya. The next day the ward was bright. I walked slowly to the desk. A nurse came close. She had kind eyes. I asked, "Can I see the note?" She said, "No, it is private." I felt small. I remembered the ambulance worker's words. I wanted to know the truth about my father. I went to the window and watched the parking lot. An ambulance left. It made me think of the night before. I thought of the diagnosis again. My mother slept in a chair. She looked worried. A doctor came and sat near us. He had paper in his hand. I tried to listen. He said, "The treatment is hard, but we can help." I heard the word treatment. It gave me a little hope. I asked, "What is the symptom that we must watch?" The doctor said, "We see low breath and high fever. We will give medicine." He wrote a prescription. I saw the letters but not all the words. My father woke. He said my name softly. I ran to him. He held my hand with weak fingers. He smiled and said, "I am glad you are here." I felt warm. Then I remembered the paper with the different name. I asked my father, "Who is that name?" He glanced at the door and did not speak. He looked tired. I felt anger. I thought the doctor lied. I thought someone betrayed us. I wanted to find the paper again. I waited until the nurse left. I walked to the desk and reached for the drawer. My fingers touched paper. I pulled one paper out. It was a chart. It showed notes about another child. My heart beat fast. I read the words, surgery date, ICU shift, recovery plan. The nurse came back suddenly and saw me. She said, "You must not read this." I felt shame. She took the paper gently and said, "I know you want answers. The truth is hard for a child." I asked, "Why did you hide it?" She sat down and held my hand. She said, "Doctors sometimes protect families. They stop fear while they plan proper treatment." I said, "But I feel like I was left out." She said, "I am sorry. We will tell you some things, slowly." I felt a change in me. I felt small anger melt a little. Later, the surgeon came to talk. He said the surgery would start soon. He explained the plan in simple words. I listened and asked small questions. He smiled and answered. The hospital felt less scary. I began to learn the words for treatment and recovery. Still, one secret stayed in my mind. I had a feeling that the story was not over. I would find the final truth. My name is Maya. The day of the surgery was bright and noisy. Machines beeped in the hall. My father went to the operating room. The surgeon put on gloves and talked to my mother. I sat in the waiting room and held my teddy tight. A nurse offered water. I nodded. I watched the clock. Time moved slow. I thought of the ICU and the beeps. I thought of the ambulance and the night. I asked myself, what if the doctor lied? The memory of the paper came back. The place in my heart was cold. Then a man visited from another ward. He had a small bandage and a tired smile. He called my name by mistake. He said, "Maya?" I looked up. He saw my blue hoodie. He looked shocked. He said, "You are the same girl from the park." My mind went back in a flash. 1 year ago I gave him a lost toy. He was not a stranger. He had the same name that I saw on the paper. He had a small child who needed care. He sat next to me and told a soft story. He said, "My child had a fever too. We waited here for a long night." He explained that the hospital had many families. The paper with the other name was for his child, not my father. I felt my cheeks go warm. I had thought the note was a betrayal. I had thought a doctor lied to us. I had made a small anger grow into a big fear. The man talked about the surgeon and the nurse. He said they were kind. He said they worked on many children. I saw the doctor walk by. He nodded to me. He did not see the note as a secret anymore. The surgeon came and said, "The surgery went well." My chest loosened. My mother cried tears of relief. My father moved to recovery later. He opened his eyes and smiled. He said, "Maya, you were brave." I looked at the doctor and the nurse. I remembered the ambulance worker's words. Now the pieces fit in place. The secret was not a lie. It was a mix of papers and many families. The hospital had many stories. My small anger turned into understanding. I learned the word diagnosis again. Now I knew the right meaning and the right person for the name. I felt a change inside me. I had grown a little. The world felt kinder. Then the nurse brought a small note for me. It said, "Thank you for waiting. You were very brave." I held the note close. My heart felt full. I realized the truth came full circle. The fear left and a new feeling came. I felt hope. My name is Maya. In the recovery room, my father sat up and ate a small soup. He smiled and said, "Thank you for staying." The nurse explained the prescription for home. She said the recovery will be slow. She gave a paper with steps and a new appointment. I learned many words: diagnosis, surgery, ICU, treatment, symptom, prescription, emergency, ambulance, nurse, recovery. I now knew their meaning. I also learned a larger lesson. At first I felt betrayed. Later I discovered the truth. The secret was a mistake of paper and fear. The doctor did not hide to hurt us. He worked to help many people. I felt a transformation in my heart. I changed from angry to calm. I changed from afraid to brave. I forgave the small secret. I learned to ask questions with care. I learned to listen before I judge. The hospital was still a serious place, but it was also a place of care. If you learn one thing, learn this: ask kindly, wait, and listen. People may have hard reasons. Trust can return when you search with patience and a kind heart. I walked out with my father and my teddy. The world felt a little brighter.